Hello traders, today is Wednesday, January 15, 2025. I have a long list actually today of names. We're going to start with Apple. This content is not financial advice, it's for educational purposes only. Keep that in mind. Please make sure to do your own due diligence and research and make your own decisions before you invest your money in any type of investment. Apple, looking quite good. One of the things that I told you on this candle and on this candle as well, so this was Friday and Monday, is that if we start with what I was talking about on Friday, or I guess Saturday, I think I was doing my video on Saturday, the following day, is that this was a critical level of support, 233, and also another level of support that was critical is 230. These two areas, in my opinion, were very good for actually setting up a position to the upside. This one right here was actually better than this one, obviously. I did buy some calls right on the bottom of this close to 233. Now they are in a good position. These are July calls, by the way. Now, getting back to what we are seeing on the chart, MACD and TSI finally are starting to curl. As of yesterday, these lower indicators were looking horrible, but now looks like they are starting to curl and come back a little bit. Now, based upon what I have seen in the last 2 weeks, I still think that we are not out of the weeds. I think that there is a possibility, not as a huge possibility, but still a possibility that, this correction or pullback might continue a little bit. But if we focus on what we're seeing right now, looks like we're catching momentum towards this area right here, towards 241. That is fantastic. Now, I do think that this need a little more time. Also, another thing that is making me feel a little bit more cautious as far as my analysis and whatnot is that I just want to wait until Monday and have the inauguration behind us. And at that point, I do believe that we can be more bullish. But as far as what I'm seeing right now, it looks like things might actually start turning around towards the upside. Now, I think that our next area should be somewhere around 245. And the reason why is because we have less liquidity in this area, so we can actually move a little bit more aggressively, towards this area right here. So Apple is looking much better than how it was looking yesterday. RSI is already pointing up, but we still have a little bit more to go on the MACD and the TSI. I would love to see these lines on the MACD and the TSI getting closer and curling towards their signal lines a little bit more, and that makes me I'm still waiting a little bit. We'll see how we behave tomorrow. By the way, PPI and CPI this week were positive as far as what expectations were set, and that also obviously helped the market have a nice reaction as well. Now, there is a peace deal also between Hamas and Israel that's also positive for the market. Keep that in mind. Now, let's move on to our next name, and that is, of course, I'm going to mention AMD. And look at this chart. It still doesn't look great. I wouldn't feel too bullish until we break 121 with momentum. I said that in prior videos, and I'm I still thinking the same way. We can't break resistance yet. However, today we had a pretty decent day, 3.33%. And if you look at this chart, it wasn't that bad. You had this top right here, 1, 2, came down towards the 35 SMA, and then you recovered, throughout the whole day. And even after hours, you had a little bump that got you almost to high of the day during trading hours, which is, I was on the 3-minute. All right, let's take a look at the 5-minute, because that's going to give you a better view. Look at this. That's pretty nice. Now, I don't think we can celebrate anything if we don't break this with momentum, even retest 121 or 121, and then continue going. Our next level of resistance, in my opinion, is going to be the 35 SMA as long as we break this level of resistance first. MACD and TSI are still looking neutral. RSI is looking a little more bullish, but for now, we just have to wait on these indicators, especially on the strength on the stock, and see, and wait in which direction we might go. One of the things that I like about AMD, even though this chart, especially from here, looks pretty bad, is the fact that it has been so oversold that I think once it starts catching momentum, we are going to see a very nice move to the upside. That's all I have for AMD. Now let's move on and take a look at Bitcoin. And look at this. Very interesting. We are right above 99, almost 100. We were at 100 at one point, yeah. I love the fact that you had, and I mentioned this before in prior videos, that we had buyers stepping in here very hard. And then you broke that 35 SMA very nicely, and then you went over resistance at 99.8. We have to maintain this level, and I think, again, once we have the inauguration behind us, which is on Monday, and hopefully nothing crazy happens, because at this point you never know. I think that we're probably Bitcoin especially is gonna rally. It's gonna move very nicely. My price target for Bitcoin by March is 120. Again, if nothing really crazy happens towards next week, especially on Monday. That being said, MACD and TSI on this area of the technical analysis are looking much better. They were neutral as of a couple of days. They were very bearish in this area. In my opinion, they were bearish. We had this nice level of support. You had support here, and then you broke support, but buyers actually saved the day, and now you are almost at 100. TSI is crossing the signal line, the same with the MACD. And the RSI, well, the RSI was pointing up, but now with this last candle right here, is, there's still a lot to be said, I guess. This candle still has to evolve. We're pretty much flat, 0.57, and the change of candles happen, I'm not too sure, to be honest, but I can actually find out. We are, I don't know, I'm not gonna. But anyways, it looks like if we maintain this level of resistance, we can actually continue moving to the upside. Let's put, since we are here, let's put a horizontal line right here, which is your all-time highs resistance, which is at 108.3. We'll see if we get to that point. Between now and 108, you don't have a lot of liquidity. You have liquidity between 99.8, I believe, to 102.5. So yeah, Bitcoin is not looking bad. I think, again, that there's a big possibility we're going to start moving much harder towards the end of the month. Now let's move on to a name that I also mentioned yesterday. Not yesterday. I couldn't make a video yesterday. The day before, and that is Clover. Let's talk about Clover really quick. And when I mentioned Clover last time, I did it on the 11th. I did it on, I think it was the 11th. Yeah, on the 11th, which was, I was looking at this candle right here. The 11th was Saturday, and I was looking at this candle. Now, the reason why I brought this up was, and I said this on my last video, I think that was on Monday, that I love the fact that with all the selling that was going on throughout the market, especially in small caps like Clover, Clover was actually pretty solid. It had a lot of relative strength. It had this rebound on the support level, went over the 35 SMA on the daily chart, and then cross resistance, came down the following day, and then it managed to actually break another level of resistance. This is very nice at 3.9. and it's closing now at 3.98. Yes, at $4 basically. Let's see what happens after hours. Yeah, so you're even at $4. That's where you close today, like completely closed. Very interesting chart, very nice move. You know, I like the fact that Clover since May, I believe, of this year, April actually, it had this very nice move and it's maintaining this area right here. It got out of, you know, this this was a penny stock on April of last year, and now you are playing with at the $4 you know, range. This is not bad. This is very nice, and I think the leadership actually did what they were supposed to do. They're doing their job. This is not bad for Clover. I think it has a lot more to prove, and it has a long runway actually until we really take off. But in my opinion, what I'm seeing and what I liked, especially in the last week or 2 weeks, is how this name was steady, moving up very nicely. And we'll see what happens when you can actually retrace towards 3.5 and then come back. But I love the fact that it's having strength, that is building up liquidity here and still moving, in this case, to the upside. We'll see how we behave. Again, you can come back towards 354, 355, 350. And you can even come down to a 35 SMA. I just like the fact that it's moving slowly, without a lot of attention and without a lot of buzz or anything like that. This name is just doing its thing. So I'm gonna keep it on my list. I got rid of a lot of names from my watch list or from this list. I just want to concentrate in better setups this year. But anyways, Clover, very interesting, very nice. Now let's move on to another name that I find interesting, and that is CrowdStrike. And I like this type of setups. I will cover another name that had a setup very similar to this. But we are closing over the 35 SMA, about to break resistance at 365 or 366. I think if we break resistance, you're not going to have a lot of pushback in this area towards 399. MACD and TSI are looking really good as well. They are looking like they're about to cross their signal line, maybe by tomorrow, depending what kind of day we get tomorrow. And even if you get rejected at resistance and you come back, this level of support is turning into a very strong level of support, which is 339. It is very nice. I like what I'm seeing. I like when stocks are coming up like this and then consolidate and then they move. Normally you see this move to the upside, but here you have a good example that you can consolidate and also break to the downside. Now, this was due to news. We all know the news. And then you had August 5th, and then since then you had this beautiful move. I do think that if we break resistance with momentum in this area, 365, you're probably gonna move easily towards 393, and then if you break, then this move is just going to continue. CrowdStrike is quite interesting. It's not ready yet. Keep it on your short list. Now let's take a look at this name, and that is FUBO. Now, I mentioned FUBO. Now, I really want to give you the date on FUBO. It was on the 11th, which was Saturday, and on the 8th. So my first alert on FUBO to the downside was on the 8th. Let's take a look. And this was on this candle right here. Now, it was pretty obvious for me, and I mentioned to some of you, I did get, it was, I'm trying, or I'm testing Robinhood Legend, which I don't like, by the way. But I put $500 in that account, and I put all that money into this name, FUBO, to the downside. And I already sold my position because my target was coming from this candle to resistance at this area right here. Not resistance, I'm sorry, to support. I just wanted to see what kind of reaction you would have here in support. And then you came back actually today. Pretty much the entire list is green. F-tie, wow. And anyways, I sold my position here. It was almost like 100%. So I put that $500. I'm just trying to learn or try to get familiar with Robinhood Legend, and I guess on that account I'm just gonna you know, I guess put all the money in whatever position I have. This one was pretty obvious in my opinion. It was extremely extended. Then you also had the CEO selling on this candle. He dumped a bunch of shares, and that tells you something. You know, like that tells you that management is there to be opportunistic. I really don't have much to say or much a lot of positive, I guess, remarks about FUBO, because I really don't know much about the fundamentals of the business. I just know it's a company that whatever, that doesn't mean much in, I guess, in the type of research or technical analysis that I do. But when I see this type of setup, for me it's very obvious that you can make money to the downside. Now, do I think that this is going to continue going down? I want to see how we break resistance, and if that is the case, I'm going to jump on it again, because then you have this gap. Let's zoom this out a little bit. Then you have this gap of liquidity here. You know, this, I think this is a little bit slow, but you have this gap of liquidity all the way to the 35 SMA. There's still opportunity here. Again, maybe tomorrow we have another green day. Maybe you can actually rally to the upside again. It is possible. And for that reason, I just want to wait and see how things behave. So I guess things worked out for me the way I actually wanted. Going from here to support and then actually sell my position at that point. It just looks like still has more fuel to continue going to the downside. So that's what I have for FUBO. It was in a pretty obvious trade in my opinion. Let me click on this thing and see what the hell happened here. Wow, look at this. Okay, that was pretty obvious to this. Look at this double top. Let's move on to the next name, and that is GEV. And let me take a note. I told you, first time I mentioned this name as far as breaking out on this pattern was on January the 2nd. So you were in one of these, in this candle right here, I believe. No, that's the 30th, on this candle, right on the 35 SMA. Then the next day, you got here, you moved, you retest. This is a textbook breaking of resistance. You retest, and now you're moving. Now, this can continue, in my opinion. You just have to take it day by day, and I think I mentioned this before. MACD and TSI are not overextended or anything like that, so this is definitely have more room to continue going up. Let's take a look at the 5-minute and see. So you had a move pre-market, and then this nasty candle, these two nasty candles. Wow, let's take a look at the 1 minute. Look at this move, boom. And then buyers stepped in again, and look at this move. Beautiful for day trading. Look at that. And then you were pretty much flat all the way to this area, and then, you know, you faded a little bit more. But I think this might have more to give. You just have to be careful. Take it day by day and see how we move. But GEV, in my opinion, was a little bit obvious as long as you were breaking resistance. And in this case, that was a retest that actually gave you, a good signal that it was a time to get back in. Now, if you want to keep it or sell it, you do what you want to do. I normally, when I see this type of red, I get out, and it could be something that I'm getting, let's say, out in this area, and then you have this whole run. I'm okay with that. I don't care. As long as I take profits, I take profits all the time, so it works out for me. Anyways, this setup is still in play. I do believe that you easily can have a continuation of this move. You just have to really pay close attention. I would pay close attention to the lower time frames on the chart and see how things are behaving, volume and all those things, the strength of the stock. You have to see how things are behaving, and at that point you can make decisions on selling or jumping in. Let's talk about HIMS, and let me take a quick note. This thing is looking great. 6.3% for the day. Again, if nothing crazy happens on Monday, I think this thing is going to start rolling again towards 35 and maybe beyond. Your next level of resistance is at 35 SMA. MACD and TSI now are looking real good. I like what I'm seeing down there. RSI is already pointing up. TSI and MACD is about to cross the signal line. This right here. And then you have the TSI about just following right behind the MACD. This looks pretty good. I love this double bottom right here. We'll see how we behave and how we continue moving, but it looks like this is going to continue. I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow, if I see this the way it's been behaving, if I see something like this tomorrow, I'm probably gonna get heavy on HIMS, on a day trade, on a very short term swing trade. Even if it's an overnight swing trade, I will still buy probably July or August calls. Keep that in mind. I would not buy anything that would expire anytime soon. I would actually buy, the price is more expensive, but I would buy something that would expire farther down the line. I just like the fact that it's less risky, in my opinion. Let's move on to Hood. And new 52-week high, MACD and TSI are over the zero line, but they are looking pretty good. Look at the TSI. It looks very nice. RSI is looking good. This thing left me behind. It is what it is. Look at this consolidation here. 1, 2, 3, and then on the fourth one, you're out. Very nice level of support. Very nice break on resistance. I think this has more, gas in the tank. Wouldn't be surprised if Robinhood gives us an additional 30% this year. But for now, this, at least on this move, this is looking great. I really like Hood, even though I don't like the product I've been testing, which is the Robinhood Legend. That's just anecdotal, and that's my own experience. But anyways, I like what I'm seeing in Robinhood. It looks pretty solid. I'm not gonna lie, it looks solid. Let's move on and talk about another name that looks super good today, and that is Meta. Now, let me take a note. Meta, you had this 1, 2, then you had this move yesterday. What was the percentage yesterday? 2.31%. Today you jumped almost 4%, 3.83%, 85%. This is looking nice. Let's take a look at the 5-minute. I wasn't following Meta today, but look at this. Boom, boom, boom. It just went. That's one, a couple of videos ago. I don't know exactly when, but that's one of the things that I was saying. When Meta moves, either if it's to the upside or downside, it really, really pushes. In this case, it was to the upside. It really, really moved. Now, when it lost momentum, brought you down to the 200 SMA on the 5-minute. Now let's go to prior days. It was going down yesterday. When it moves down, it was moving down hard. This day was kind of flat, but then look at this, another move. And so Meta, a lot of the times, look at this right here. Look at this right here. Look at this whole move, down and then up again. Sometimes you have, look at this, up. This is an opportunity for 3 trades. You have 1, 2, and 3. So that's one of the things that I really like about Meta. Is that when it moves, it really moves. It gives you nice, clear opportunities on the chart for day trading. It is risky, of course, but I really like how this moves on the daily chart, especially the 5-minute chart. It looks more cleaner on the 5-minute. Now on the daily, again, I think we now have juice to go towards 638, 639, new all-time highs, price discovery. I think we can hit all that. With Trump coming into the presidency, I think Amazon, Meta, and Tesla are really gonna benefit from this administration. And surprise, surprise, these are the 3 CEOs, well, not Bezos, but the 3 company owners, I would say, that that are meeting with Trump and having conversations with Trump and maybe changing their ways, especially Mark Zuckerberg and I don't know much about Bezos though. But anyways, I do believe that those three companies, Nvidia as well, are probably going to benefit tremendously from Trump. Now let's move on to a name that I gave you on Monday. And was it on Monday? Yes, Monday. I gotta find it first. Am I doing NQ today? Yes, I am. Okay. Triple M. Now, let me take a quick note here. All right. I told you about Triple M. Was it yesterday? But I'm pretty sure I mentioned this before. Or maybe I did it on X. But one of the things that I said, no, it wasn't yesterday. It was the day before. So it was on Monday. I didn't make a video yesterday. So we were on this candle. Day after, you were up 1.9%. Today, you are up or basically flat at 0.42%. I think this move still has more to give. MACD and TSI are looking bullish. RSI is not overbought. The nice move on the 35 SMA is very telling. And everything is pointing out. You had this compression right here, and now you are releasing into a lower. Let me take a look here. Yeah, into an area of very low liquidity. That is quite interesting. I like this. Sometimes I like to trade these kind of companies that move slow, but sometimes they give you very obvious setups. And this was a case of Triple M. I'm just gonna leave it there. I just want, I point this out on Monday because I like the setup and it actually is working out very nicely. Let's move on and mention Netflix, which I haven't mentioned in a long time. I like what is happening here. And let me take a quick note because you're coming down to this level of support. Today you were up 2.4%. Now I haven't traded Netflix in a while, but Netflix also has a very similar tendency as what you see on Meta. Now we're looking at the 5-minute chart. Look at this on Tuesday, straight down, So if you were buying puts, super giving, beautiful. The same here. You went down and then you start rolling to the upside after hours. You continue moving up. Beautiful move. The same here. Down. So you have 1 trade, 2 trades, 3 trades. This is kind of choppy. You don't want to trade that. This is also choppy. But I guess you get the point. This thing, when it moves, it also moves. Now you are coming back from support at this level, 818, 819. And if momentum continues, these indicators, MACD, TSI, are going to start curling. You're going to start gaining strength. You're right under the 0 line. You're going to gain strength and come into 874, 875. If you break this level of resistance, you're moving. You're moving again. You have low liquidity here, and this is good in the sense that you're not going to have a lot of resistance coming into this level right here, 874. And also you're going to build more liquidity in this area. So that means that if you start coming down or selling off again, there's going to be more resistance on your way down. This level right here is a little bit scary, but we're not even there. And we're not focusing on that. So we'll see how we behave between now and 874. If you break this level, this is going to look very, very nice. Again, this is one of these names, and when it moves, it really moves, and it's very, very, very given. I've been talking about Netflix not last time, but I remember talking about Netflix right on this area right here. And that was on May. And I was calling that we were going to move very rapidly to the upside. Back then, my price target was 700. And we actually got to that point, almost to that point. We got to 690. This is August 5th. And then you rally. Then I gave you another alert here. You rally very nice. Seems like something might happen here next week. Again, if Monday, by the way, the market is closed, but by Tuesday, if everything goes fine, and I think it will, and I'm talking about Trump getting into office and no crazy shit happens during the inauguration, I think that we are going to have a nice rally towards the end of the month. Contingent on Monday, the 20th, of course. Netflix looking really good on this rebound on resistance. Very nice retrace. This cool, cooling down like this really gives you a good opportunity of maybe take advantage of the next move. We had a double top here, but anyways, you are bouncing right now and looks good so far. Again, up until next Tuesday, let's take it day by day. Now let's talk about this beautiful comeback, in my opinion, of NQ. And let me take a quick note. I don't know if I am the only one who was seeing this flagging here. We were all looking at this level of resistance, of support, I'm sorry, right here at 20.7. And my thing was, if you break this level, now you can be a little bit more on the bullish, on the bearish side. You're coming down here, and then you're probably going to hit the 200 SMA. That didn't happen. That is a good thing. But when I drew this and I posted this on X, my thing is like, well, we're flagging. It's not looking too bad, even though everybody's panicking, which is understandable. You have a very nice candle right here at 2 point something percent. 2.3%. Now you are up again. You're right under the 35 SMA. If you break the 35 SMA, now I think we're going to continue moving up. Let's move this to there. So, we're still not out of the weeds. MACD and TSI, they can break to the downside again, and you can continue going down. But we'll see what we see on tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. And then let's see how we open on Tuesday. The next 3 trading days are going to be incredibly critical, in my opinion. But this rebound looks very nice. But still, you want to break the trend line and you want to break the 35 SMA. You want to catch momentum. You got to start moving into low liquidity areas, and then we can feel a little more at ease on what we're seeing on NQ. Now let's move on to another name that I haven't mentioned in a while, and that is Palantir. And quite interesting. You had this breaking support. Now you're coming back. Today you were up 3.38%. Not bad, to be honest. I think you might actually be on the next leg. Let's wait. I want to see something really quick. Yeah, on that next leg to the upside, you might retest support and maybe continue going up. But I think that this setup is not too bad. It is. There are a lot of similar setups that you have the MACD and the TSI right on the 0 line and starting to curl into their signal lines. Now you get more confirmation the closer you get to the signal line. So I think it's a little bit premature to think that, okay, we're out of the woods and now we can actually start deploying money. I personally want to wait and I want to see a better setup on the lower indicators. But as far as what I'm seeing on price action, this is not bad. Now you have a very decent level of liquidity here, which is also is good in the sense that the moves are not going to be as volatile. And, for traders like myself that are more on the, I guess, conservative side, it's easier to actually jump into a name like Palantir. I think that Palantir as a company and as a stock is going to be, especially as a stock, is going to be incredibly surprising for some. I think that it's still very cheap at this level, but still has a lot more, I guess, to show in this area right here before we actually go into new all-time highs. Again, MACD and TSI are starting to look much better, but they still need a couple of more days to see. And coincidentally, in a couple of days, in a couple of trading days, we're basically gonna be on Tuesday, the 21st, when the market reopens next week. So just give it a little more time. For now, I'm honestly not trading much. I did have that trade on FUBO, and which was a 3-day swing, and I might actually do some day trading tomorrow with HIMS, depending how the chart looks. but I'm just, you know, I'm on the sidelines, waiting to see how the market is going to behave on Tuesday, especially next week. Anyways, Palantir not looking bad at all. Now let's take a look at Reddit, and take a quick look right here. Reddit. Look at this. It kind of looks like GEV. It also kind of looks like Hood that had this consolidation 1, 2, 3, and now we're going for number 4. You got rejected today on resistance, which is fine. Look, you went all the way and then you came back down. You still managed to close the day at 3.5%. Not bad at all. I do think that this has more legs to continue going up. MACD and TSI are much cooler than what they were here, closer to this area of earnings that actually you had this rally unstoppable, and then you started to go down. Now, even though you are on top of the zero line, and I would prefer, I would prefer to enter a trade if we are under the zero line. I think this is setting up very nicely right here. The longer we stay here, the more we consolidate here, the more you're going to compress, and the move that you're going to get, especially to the upside, would be quite interesting. Now, you can also break to the downside if things go wrong, but for now, I'm just waiting and for a move to the upside. I'm not too focused on moves to the downside, especially on this setup, which looks pretty obvious. You have a gap here, but I'm not too worried about it right now. I just want to see what happens coming out of this range and see if there is an opportunity. Remember what I told you about GEV, and you can also go to Hood and take a look how that that chart looks. And there's a lot of stocks that have been doing this, and a lot of the times, not always, when they break, they really break. All right, let's finish this video with, of course, why not, with Tesla. And what a day for Tesla, right? Let me take a quick note on time right here. Look at this, 8.8% to the upside. Let's take a look at the 5-minute and see if there was more movement. Not basically flat after hours. Nothing out of the ordinary for Tesla. But look at this. You had this kind of like maybe double bottom. I don't know. But, my thesis was if we continue going, when we were breaking the 35 SMA, we can easily hit the 365. Now, what is interesting is we didn't get to that level, but we retested 415 prior all-time highs. We got rejected, and then you mounted a 35 SMA, and now today with an 8% day, beautiful day for Tesla, now you are back at for almost 430. That is impressive. That is impressive, seriously. Now, if we catch more momentum, look at the MACD and the TSI. They are looking much better now. You can go back towards 450, which is probably a psychological level, and then top that, you go into new all-time highs. I think next week, again, could be a the remainder of the month could be tremendous for bulls. Well, my friends, this is all I have for you today. I did go over 16 different names. I haven't done this in a long time, but there is a lot of setups. I just can't wait for next week and see what we get. Anyways, thank you very much. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and subscribe and like the video. Other than that, take it easy. See you guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.